Recently, I played through a lot of Metal Gear Solid Delta, and in today's video, I want to talk about it. All my playthroughs, what I liked, what I would change, and at the end, I want to take some time to talk about the possibility of other Metal Gear Solid games getting the Delta treatment.
Yo, it's L.
Welcome back to the political espionage cardboard box that is this channel. I am the Spider-Man Sweater Man, and recently I played through Metal Gear Solid Delta 7 times. This treacherous tetrahedron of a game is a remake of the PlayStation 2 classic, Metal Gear Solid 3. Also, moving forward, whenever I say remake, I also mean remaster. Every time I call a game one of those, either remake or remaster, somebody argues it's the other. Let's first cover how I got into the Metal Gear series. It was back when the Legacy Collection on PS3 came out. I have it signed by David Hayter, the real voice of Big Boss and Solid Snake. Like most Metal Gear fans, Metal Gear Solid 1 and 3 were my favorites. In gameplay wise, I put hundreds of hours into Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain. So when our old enemies, now trying to be friends Konami, announced Delta, I was half filled with excitement to play more Metal Gear, especially a modern version of Snake Eater, and half filled with the kind of fear that makes one rip their eyes out over the possibility of Konami fucking this up. So, release day came, and my power went out. So I had to wait until the next day to play the game and live stream it. During the live stream, I did talk over some cutscenes and skipped others to avoid spoilers. So for this video, there will be a spoiler warning, but I will try to keep things to a minimum in case you want to check this game out. Recently, I had an itch to go back and replay Snake Eater, so it was pretty serendipitous that Delta came out around the same time. Just like the Legacy Collection came out around the same time I was thinking of getting into the series. That entire session, that live stream of me playing, it really scratched that itch I had to go back and play the original PS2 game. On the live stream, I just played through the opening mission. And when it was over, I pretty much just played the game non-stop. So let's see, I live streamed this game on a Wednesday, and that Friday I stayed up until Saturday morning at like 9 a.m. beating the game. The first couple days, I beat the game like 5 times, with an additional 2 times since then, because much like a poet, I struggle for my art. I started a new save file instead of using the one I started on the live stream. The first time I beat this game, I did beat the bosses non-lethally, but I did accidentally kill a few guards. So this playthrough, I was determined to get 0 deaths. The game starts and you're Naked Snake, who got that nickname for always having his cock out in public. Your mission is to rescue a Russian scientist named Sokolov. I sneak past alligators, fully armed guards, and shoot beehives in order to defeat my enemies. It's also important to take time to eat the local wildlife. I sneak around more enemies and use my tranquilizer gun to make this guard feel asleep. Inside, I find the suck-off dude. A Russian cowboy shows up, then we escape to a bridge where Snake's mentor, the boss, shows up. The bees are pissed I shot their hive, and mutants show up, spouting one-liners. It starts raining blood, a ghost appears, then an electric man walks up out of nowhere, saying his Pokemon name.
Kuwabara, Kuwabara.
Snake gets his ass kicked and he grabs the boss's infinite ammo bandana as he's thrown into a river.
Kuwabara.
Of course, this being half-action movie, Snake's okay and patches himself up. Russian Thor shoots off a nuke, and the blast of radiation can't be good for Snake's balls. Then we get to one of my favorite Metal Gear moments, the Snake Eater theme. I grew up watching like every James Bond movie, and I love the Snake Eater theme. I think this part's awesome. If you have no interest in this game but like James Bond, do check out the Snake Eater title theme. And if you're playing this game for the first time, this will get you pretty hyped up for what's to come. Like getting shot out of a plane in a mini plane missile and parachuting into a forest like a fucking genius. This is it. This is where the real game begins. Operation Snake Eater. I got my gear ready, then stabbed a fake duck. On my way to find where my ship landed, a horse came by to ask me if I had any apples. Classic horse trick, as the boss shows up and beats the shit out of Snake again. Then I see a ghost in the rain. I used stun grenades to deal with the enemy patrol that showed up, and I suggest to newer players to search enemies for additional ammos and items. It's something I did a lot this playthrough, like tree climbing. Back at the bridge area, I almost got spotted, but I took the enemy out before he could call for backup. Now here's Snake enjoying a snake. Talk about Snake Eater.
That's tasty.
I got to the rendezvous point where this enraged biker shot at me for insulting Metallica. Even though Snake stares at her chest, what really turns him on is her gun.
45, huh? The feeding ramp is polished to a mirror sheen. The slide's been reinforced, and the interlock with the frame is tightened for added precision. The sight system is original too. Thumb safety is extended to make it easier on the finger. What's the long type trigger with non-slip grooves? The base of the trigger guard's been filed down for a higher grip. And not only that, nearly every part of this gun has been expertly crafted and customized. Incredible. Yeah.
Damn it. I'll call you later.
A hit squad comes to murder that pussy, and I have to sneak around and take them out. I grab this guy's noodles, then Occupation Revolution shows up, and he has a really nice ass gun. He's pretty good. So this part has directional mines, and I just used the mine detector from earlier to make this part really easy to get past. Up ahead there is an outpost I want to get into, so I have to sneak by some enemies. I blow up the food storage, which actually negatively affects enemies, and I blow up this helicopter so it won't show up later. I run off like a coward and find myself in a standoff against the revolting Russian cowboy. This will be the game's first boss fight, and it's actually a pretty easy one. Even on later playthroughs on higher difficulties, I didn't really have any issue with this boss fight at all. It turns out the bees are still mad about me shooting that beehive, and they came for some revengeance. Snake says LOL and jumps into a valley, landing in this all-black cave. Now's a good time to equip thermal goggles, so I can see what I'm doing, as now it's time for some crab battle. Now my inventory is full of crab meat. It took me a long ass time, and I did find tons of things down here, but I did eventually find the exit to get out of this annoying cave. For some reason, waiting for me in this cave was the Bee-Man, Nicolas Cage, so now it's time to go Wicker Man on him. It wasn't exactly a breeze, because I couldn't remember how to beat him using non-lethal, though the boss fight isn't really that bad. I didn't want to look it up, and eventually I did remember to use the shotgun to disarm his sort of bee armor. Low on health, on my third try, I dealt the final non-kill shot. He explodes, obviously, and it's time to move on. Before we do though, I have to make my way around this annoying terrain to pick up his camo. Further ahead I pick up some food because I know I'm going to get hungry, and I got some poison frogs for later. Now I have to make my way through this river and avoid the spotlights. Revolver Oyster Cult plays a crazy version of Russian roulette with a scientist, which motivates the boss to explain how this old man is going to kill me. I could headshot him now, but since I'm doing a 0-kill run, we'll have to meet on the battlefield. Guess I'll have to swim around, then head inside. I make my way through the warehouse and end up at another enemy base. The electric wire does work, and I sneak into the inner wall. Inside the lab, Snake plays dress up. Eventually I meet Grain Eating Man, who's drunk off his own power and vodka. Turns out his shoes are really in charge, so I answer their riddle and they give me a key card for a door I have to backtrack to. So I head back to the warehouse, and I run into Tree Reptile Man. So I do remember the thermal goggles help with this fight, but I forgot about the traps. Monkey Boy runs out of energy fast and needs to eat during the fight. This is when I throw down those poison frogs for him to eat. He explodes because why the fuck not? Back in the warehouse, I have to take out the enemies again, stab a rat, then head through this door. Old Man River wakes up, and it's time for one of gaming's best boss fights. Me with a tranquilizer gun against a sniper who was probably born before the sniper rifle was invented. So the Metal Gear series is somewhat known for its boss fights. Like how in the original game, when it was ported to the NES, the final boss, Metal Gear, they took out of the game. The series has a fight where the boss can read your mind. There's a fight against a mech, a fight against another mech, another fight against another mech where you have a mech, and a sword fight against Doc Ock in New York, plus this fight against Old Man Sniper. You know what I like about this boss fight? Is there's no bullshit. There's no tricks. There are a few workarounds and stuff, but I don't know. It's such a fun boss fight. Even when you know what you're doing, it's so fun. It's still great. I think much like a blunt or a cigar, this boss fight is best enjoyed slowly. And if you're having any difficulties, you should consider shooting the guy's parrot. So I haven't played this game in years, so I somewhat knew what I was doing, and it took me about an hour to complete this boss fight. I equipped the thermal goggles to try and find his heat source, and I just crawled around on the ground everywhere. Normally you can sneak behind him for non-lethal, but at first I found him like this, so I shot him with my pistol. The second time I found him, I did sneak up behind him though. Over 20 minutes in, and he starts soaking up the sunlight to refill his energy, and I managed to get a shot in. So after a while, I remember thermal will sometimes show his footprints, so I can turn them on and look for any signs of the end. I came across a storage shed and decided, why not just blow it up? Hoping the end would come. While waiting for him, I stabbed what I thought was a snake, but it was a rope trap. I cut myself free and blow up the shed. About 45 minutes in, he absorbs sunlight again and refills half his energy. I spot him and start my super slow crawl towards him. I got a few shots in, he runs off, and I use my thermal to follow his footsteps. He runs beside me and a shootout begins, then he stun grenades me and runs off. I tracked down that decrepit delinquent and shot him a bunch, thinking that was enough. Turns out I was one shot short and I fucked up. So now I gotta chase after him, and I try to shoot him from far away and that was pretty stupid, so now I have to run around and look for him again. After 55 minutes, I finally spot him, crawl over, so now I'm across an opening. I have a pistol and he has a sniper. Like, it is what it is. I make my way around, checking every so often, making sure he hasn't moved. I try to sneak up on him, a shootout ensues, but I got him. The cutscene plays, and the game freezes. This was my first experience with any technical issues while playing Metal Gear Solid Delta. I had to reload everything, I changed the settings to performance, and I try again. Luckily the game auto-saved and I was in the last part of the boss fight. I sneak up on the ancient asshole, shoot him, and the game fucks up again. So at this point, I'm furious. That's twice on the same cutscene the game won't progress, and I'm furious. Because like not being able to beat a game due to your lack of skill, that's one thing. But when you can beat the game, when you beat the boss, and the cutscene doesn't work and you have technical issues, it's very frustrating. And it fills me with so much rage that I want to just build my own Metal Gear and I can just destroy the entire geopolitical landscape. Like, that's how angry I get over technical issues like this. So I beat the boss the third time and skipped the cutscene without the recording software running. Once I picked up a sniper rifle, I realized I forgot to turn the recording software back on, so I rushed to do that. That whole experience was really annoying, but the boss is beat, so I move on inside, stab a rat, and make it to this ladder. So this is the famous ladder climbing scene from Metal Gear Solid Delta. Now I love this game, but this part is really annoying. So you have to climb this ladder, and after a while, a song, which I can't play due to international copyright laws, plays in the background. This is not a cutscene, okay? This is not like, oh, Snake's just doing it. This isn't an editing trick. This isn't being looped. You have to climb this ladder, Okay, and like as you can see, I am in this box. The gameplay is down here. I'm looking at it off screen. Obviously, I can't see the screen that you can see because that's not how this type of stuff works. Okay? So I'm like, oh my god, it's been almost a minute of me rambling and this is still going. Like, there's no cuts, there's no edits. This isn't like, here you go, read this while you watch it. No, this is just me watching this back in the editing room. Like, I already rambled. I'm done my spiel and it's still going. Like, what do I do now? Improv? Yes, and. You have to climb a ladder. Yes, and. God damn it, improv fucking sucks. But this is it. This is probably the worst part of the game, which honestly is not even that bad of a thing. You're just climbing a ladder while a song plays in the background. Not like the craziest thing. It's not like, but it's like, oh my god, it's like every time I play this game, this is the part I dread the most, which again is not that bad. It's just climbing a ladder, but like, look at this. Look at how, why? If they would have removed this, I would have been fine. I would have totally been fine if they removed this from the remake. After that jungle fight and ladder climb from hell, I'm in the mountains. Guards are hiding among the hills, and in the next area, there's a few more enemies to sneak around. Earlier, you may have remembered me blowing up a military chopper. That was so for this part of the game, it wouldn't be patrolling the skies. The third area did have a chopper that was flying around, so there I had to be careful. Eventually, I got to where I had to be, I met up with Ava, and she tells Snake to eat her ramen. They explain I have to find this Russian twink and dress up as him. Pikachu punches Jam out of a barrel, then Oscillating Revolver shows up to oscillate. The boss walks in, and Russian Electro fists a barrel. That makes Revolving Oscillator then oscillate his revolver. He's pretty good. Then Naked Snake watches from afar with his Solid Snake, who leaves behind some Liquid Snake when he's done. Then I ate a frog.
Hey, this works.
Snake looks around under the bed for Eva's panties. I gain entrance to the tunnel and make my way through. I save the game because I know what's coming next, and my medic asks me if I've ever seen the movie The Blob. It's actually pretty thematic because I found a pyro astronaut. Since he has a dumbass Metal Gear name, it means we have to fight. So I didn't want to look up what to do since I've forgotten what to do in a game I played, 10 years ago? But things weren't going too well, and I ended up dying. I don't remember this boss fight being difficult at all. After a while, I got him down to half health, then he just appeared above me and it led to me dying in flame again. Which happened again 15 minutes later. With the reload and the recoil, I only got in one shot before I have to sneak away. He finds me again and burns me to death. So I think it's actually a little bit funny that Big Boss is struggling with a fire type enemy because later in the series, his body double is going to get set on fire and his clone is going to get set on fire. Two separate people, two separate issues, both set on fire. It's crazy, but that's what I love about Metal Gear. Honestly, this series is crazy as shit. The Fury puts my flame out again after another attempt. So at this point, I just tried a grenade approach, which was basically throw stun grenades everywhere. And it almost worked out, but it didn't. I honestly tried for over an hour to beat him. And honestly, he got me. He got me good a few times. After a while, I circled back to the grenade strategy, which almost beat him. Then I tackled him and I won. The cinematic plays of him doing a monologue, then he recreated the Challenger explosion. For Delta, I don't know if they changed the boss fight at all, but I don't remember fighting him on the PS2 and then having to go to anger management because of it. I blow off some steam by eating a snake and I exit into the military base. Inside, I take out the enemies while saying, "I'm Batman," and I use a box to enter the northeast section. From there I can enter the lab, but not before resupplying. Inside the lab I get asked if I've seen some old movie. I did show some of this earlier, but every time you save, she's going to ask you if you've seen some random ass movie from the 50s, the 70s, the 60s, the 80s.
Snake, have you seen 007 From Russia with Love?
Nah, I don't like those movies. Real spies are nothing like James Bond. It's pure fantasy.
maybe if you change your codename to 00 Snake.
No.
Snake, wouldn't you like to have a gun shaped like a pen?
What good is a pen gonna do me in the jungle? I'd look like a fool.
Then what about a snake-shaped gun? We'll make you a snake-shaped gun that folds up and fits into an attaché case. You can make it look like you're grappling with a giant snake and then get a shot in on the enemy while they're distracted. Ha!
Okay, now you're being ridiculous.
But whatever. I find my target inside the library and formulate a plan. I decide to choke out the random science man, then take out my target. So at this moment I forgot how I'm supposed to actually take his uniform off in the game, so I carry him around. Like most men I choke in libraries, I bring him to the bathroom to see if I can get his clothes off. It turns out that didn't really help because I can't remember what I'm supposed to do, so now I'm just sort of standing in a bathroom with an unconscious dude. It's like my Sweet 16 party all over again. While trying to remember, I checked the locker room and then it hit me. I have to go bring Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2 to the locker room. I strip him down, cover him in flour and lick the wet spots, then shove him in a huge locker, and because I gave him a Viagra, he stays upright. My commanding officer tells me how to put clothes on, and for some reason I have Raiden's mask in my inventory. Since I look like I'm in Metal Gear Solid 2, these guards salute me and I walk in. Snake finds the doctor from earlier and he talks about his tank Gundam. He wants to build one after watching Gundam Wing, which is available now on DVD and Blu-ray. Dr. Russia tells naked but still wearing clothes Snake how his Gundam tank is kept in a hangar and he plans to take down the Earth Sphere Alliance unless they submit to Oz. Snake freaks out and says Relina Peacecraft and the Sand Kingdom are the leaders the people want. Then Thundercheeks comes in and threatens to shoot me if I talk any more about anime. Then the boss shows up to beat up Snake for like the third time. Like, he does a little bit better every time, but he can't beat her just yet. Guess he forgot to counterbalance the knife. They strip naked Snake naked and beat him up in that order. The boss confuses Snake's face for a knife board because she's on acid. Then Occupation Revolution smells a girl. He then tries to revolve his Ocelot at her. Snake freaks out and gets shot in the fucking face. And Ocelot can't be killed because of a time paradox. He's pretty good. Then I see a ghost who plugs his radio show. I heal up, and I'm in prison. With nothing to do, I check out the ghost radio. After a spoiler-free escape, I don't have any gear, but as you can see, I can sneak right past guards because they're pretty dumb. A bit later, I came across a cardboard box. I check my mini-map, and I'm far off from where I need to be. I make my way over, sneak around tanks to hide from enemies, then my stomach starts rumbling, which worried me because I thought this dog would hear it and wake up, but luckily he didn't. I did make it to the tunnel and escaped. Anyone who's seen the movie The Fugitive knows what's going to happen here. Russian Ocelot shoots blanks and will one day hate ninjas. He's pretty good. This leads to a boss fight against a ghost. This part of the game, you can actually see everybody you killed. Whether you use lethal or not, all the bosses will show up. But if no one else shows up, then you know you haven't killed any enemy soldiers so far. All you have to do is just walk down the river. I imagine with tons of bodies it may not be so easy, but I won't spoil things, so I die. Further ahead I meet up with Ava. Snake eats a snake, and Ava wants to eat Snake's snake. She wants to peg his eye hole, but he thinks it's too soon to stick things in there. He gets dressed and she gives him a chocolate bar for his troubles. I hope there's weed in it. This leads to a normal ladder climb scene. You think they could have done something like that in the other ladder climbing section. Using my Foxy Boxy, I sneak around the base. My box can't be seen by the boys in the yard. It's the same area as before when I broke out of jail, only it's day and I have my equipment. I got close to being able to play with the Gundam, but the boss shows up for like what, the 4th or 5th time to beat the shit out of Snake? Snake's future clone son's right arm's future host shows up with a ghost holding a countdown timer. That's right, Snake's future clone son's right arm's future host shows up with a ghost holding a countdown timer. Now that we broke English, the Patriot Ocelot's revolving is stopped before it starts by the Tesla Coil Comrade. Another ghost sighting. Vulcan and Snake decide to fight, which isn't that bad. I had a bit of difficulty at first, but once I learned when, how, why, and what to block his moves, this fight pretty much turned into a joke on later playthroughs. That being said, I was running low on time and it was getting down to the wire, but Red Sun Electro ran out of charge and I escaped. Of course, things have to explode, and Snake is now being chased by the Tank Gundam, aka the Shagohod. I used the End's non-lethal sniper to take out my enemies. I did want to use a rocket launcher, but I was worried it would kill the enemies, so I figured it was better just to shoot them with my sniper rifle before they had a chance to shoot me. And at some point I did use additional armor in case I got hit. Now if you've ever seen The Great Escape, this is the Metal Gear version of that movie. This part is honestly just one long fucking fun and exciting tank chase. It all ends in a standoff against the Shagohod and Snake with Eva. It turns out if you paid attention during certain cutscenes, you can actually learn where to shoot it. Watch out for machine gun fire and missiles, aim well, and you'll take it down in no time. Well, until Lieutenant Surge revitalizes the Shagohod, and now Snake has a fight on the ground. The strategy is basically the same. Temporarily disable the Shagohod and shoot Volgin. This part is a lot of fun, and since it's a super high-tech tank and it comes at you, you definitely feel the urgency of taking it out as fast as you can, and you really do get that sense that you're fighting a big, fictional, fucking super tank. Even though you keep him alive, Volgin goes down. First he was Cole from Infamous, and now he's a man on fire.
Fried by a bolt of lightning. A fitting end.
So we have one last chase scene, because I guess Hideo Kojima realized he didn't have a Star Wars reference, so here we are, the Endor chase scene. After the flying stormtroopers, we get car guys. Also, this will be important later, if I stun or tranquilize the enemy, that does not count as a kill. So if I snipe a guy's head with a non-lethal gun, and he falls off his bike and it blows up, that's not a kill. The explosion killed him, not the tranquilizer gun. Ava then suffers a wound like she's Aunt May and this is Spider-Man. Luckily, Snake knows how to heal people, so he stitches them up and they move on for now. So at first you have to direct Ava to follow you, but after a while, an enemy patrol shows up. I just threw stun grenades behind us, hoping that would keep them away for a while, all while feeding Ava some random food to keep her energy up. This is actually one instance in a video game where protecting an NPC isn't really annoying. It does add an extra difficulty because you have to be sneaky while caring for an injured companion, but it's honestly not that bad. If you're already taking out enemies as you go, it's nothing really different. We make it through though, and that just leaves one last thing to do.
It's the boss, isn't it? I'll leave you two alone. But come back in one piece, okay?
Now this is considered one of the greatest boss fights ever. And I'm not just saying that because this game lets you zoom in during cutscenes. The boss explains to Snake something he won't understand just yet. I don't want to spoil everything that leads to this, and the importance of the boss, not only to Naked Snake, but the Metal Gear series as a whole. The boss taught Snake everything she knew. He overcame every challenge but one. The greatest soldier to have ever lived. The boss. One must die, one must live.
There is nothing left inside me now. Nothing at all. Snake, in 10 minutes, Miggs will come and bomb the hell out of this place. If you can beat me in less than 10 minutes, you'll be able to escape in time.
Boss.
You're a soldier. Finish your mission. Face me.
So we start off and she just starts fucking me up before I even get a chance to know the fight started. Now I don't want to give away any strategy or spoilers, and by just playing the game, by the time you get here and beat it, whether you think it is the best boss fight or not, you can at least understand why in the Metal Gear series it is considered one of the best and one of the most beloved boss fights to fans. And for the record, I never pulled the trigger. So after all that, it turns out we forgot about this cat and snake game between Bond Snake and Russian Clint Eastwood. He likes when Snake revolves his ocelot. Oscillator can't stop oscillating revolvers, and all these stupid names get too much.
You're not a snake, and I'm not an ocelot. We're men with names. My name is John. What's yours?
John.
My name is John. What's yours? Very well.
Like all good friends, they play Russian roulette. Ocelot looks at Snake as if to say, "You're pretty good." Then, like a cat, he jumps out of a moving plane. For defeating the boss, Naked Snake becomes Big Boss. It was in that moment that the Metal Gear universe decided soldiers should have these weird names. I guess if someone beats Big Boss, they become the biggest boss, or bigger boss, maybe huge boss. It doesn't matter. Big Boss gives the boss one last salute, as she was a true patriot. Now, it's not really impressive by any means, and this doesn't include restarts and when I died or reloaded due to accidentally killing someone. I got Pigeon rank, and a playtime just over 14 hours. Keep in mind, at least 6 hours of the game is cutscenes, which, yes, watching the cutscenes in this game counts as playtime. Now that the game is beat, I got a bunch of rewards and unlocks I can use in New Game Plus. Beating the game was just the beginning. Now started my series of repeat playthroughs. Even though I just beat normal, I wanted to start at very easy and work my way up the difficulty ladder. I wanted to become more familiar with areas and boss patterns, as well as collect a bunch of things. My second playthrough though, I got a Hound rank. Another playthrough, I caught the rare snake, Sushinoko. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong, I'm British. This snake is so rare, I actually caught two, so I decided to eat one. And it turns out that was a bad idea. So here's how this works. In order to get a certain rank and item, you have to beat the game with a Sushinoko in your inventory. So at one point in the game, you will lose your stuff, but then you get it back. At that point, if you had caught Sushinoko prior to that, it'll respawn, allowing you to catch it, and then it's in your inventory for the rest of the game. You beat the game, you get the rewards. I guess because I caught two and ate the second one, that didn't happen. Meaning, I caught two, I ate one, and the one I caught didn't come back to me. So I had to beat the game again. I had to play through an additional time, catching one Sushinoko and making sure, okay, don't catch any more, make sure you don't eat it, and it worked that time. Another playthrough, I went on easy mode and I collected all the ducks and frogs. Or so I thought. It turns out I missed a frog. So, I did have to play through the whole game again just to get the one I missed. One playthrough I caught every plant and animal, as well as making sure to eat one of everything to keep a list going in-game. I had to catch the 3 clone snakes and Sushinoko again. At the time of recording, hard difficulty, Fox rank is my best job so far. For getting a quick time, remember, skip cutscenes. You can cut out at least 6 hours of gameplay. Also, I had beat the game 5 times in 3 days, so I was pretty in the zone and Metal Gearing pretty hard. I think Delta passes the remake test. It's a modern way to play a PlayStation 2 classic without having to play a PS2 game. The cinematics are there, the graphics obviously look better than the PlayStation 2, and I would say the gameplay in Metal Gear Solid Delta is better than the original. There's a lot of things that I really liked about Metal Gear Solid Delta, but I want to highlight the 3 things that keep me coming back to replay this game. The first thing I really like is the quality of life changes they made. Basically, you spend less time in menus, but the one I wanted to highlight was the camouflage system. In Delta, the convenience of using the camouflage system puts it above the original for me. It's just so quick and easy now. The next thing I really liked about Delta is the story. This is probably my second favorite story when it comes to all the Metal Gear games. But it's a shame because I don't know how to describe Metal Gear without just throwing up my hands and just saying, Metal Gear. But that's how it is. Like, it's such a strange series. It's very unique. At times it's funny, but it doesn't really tell jokes. It's campy, but it's also serious. There's no way to describe it, but once you just accept this is the world of Metal Gear, this is the reality of it, you'll enjoy it. At times, the best I can describe is this is a James Bond movie if it was written and directed by the Coen brothers. Last thing I really liked about Delta, and what keeps me replaying a lot, is how much freedom there is for such a linear game. Boss fights, enemy patrols, and obstacles all have different ways of overcoming them, so your playthroughs will be varied and never monotonous. As for the what I would change part of the video, there isn't much. My biggest complaint is with Unreal Engine 5. This is the engine that they use for the game, and there are performance issues, but then when you look online, you can see that modders have fixed it, and it's not only this game, but it seems to be a lot of games with Unreal Engine 5 where the fans, the modding community, have to fix these issues. So for me, while it's easy to get mad at the developers, I feel like the issues with their bosses, with the publishers, with the higher ups, who aren't giving them the resources they need to fix a lot of the small performance issues that clearly can be fixed because modders have fixed those issues. These are the specs on the computer I use for playing through Delta. These are the specs of the computer I use to livestream Delta. I used the lower end computer for this review, just so the average gamer or viewer would most likely have specs closer to that. I think if Konami is going to remake the mainline Metal Gear games, they have like a home run on their hands. The only thing holding them back, or the only issue, is the performance stuff with Unreal Engine 5. Like, if modders can fix it, then that means that it's fixable, it's avoidable. Just hire one of those modders to come in for the day and just do it, and there you go. I know a guy, you just have to pay him a fish and a joint, and there you go. He'll fix it for you. As for the game itself, Metal Gear Solid Delta, the only thing I would change would be the Mods and the Gats. I would probably add a silencer to that. That would be really cool. Or if we could get a non-lethal weapon that's better than a pistol but doesn't have to be a sniper, much like the non-lethal SMG you can get in Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. So what about the rest of the Metal Gear series? He asked himself out loud. So this one summer I made a bunch of wheat butter, and that winter I thought, oh, it lost its potency. So I made a batch of cookies, I ate them all, and I was high for 3 days. So I like to think that qualifies me to speak on the gaming industry a little bit. See, Konami, I don't think they're going to remake any more Metal Gear games unless Delta is a success. And I don't know what internal metrics they're using to determine what would qualify as a success when it comes to like releasing a video game. But I hope it sells well, I hope it reviews well, I hope it does well enough that we get more, because as an existing Metal Gear fan, I think I speak for most of the fan base when I say I would really like to have a modern version, a playable version of the entire Metal Gear Solid series. And I think it was a really smart choice by Konami to start this whole remake thing with Snake Eater, with Delta, the first game, chronologically speaking, in the Metal Gear series. Think about it this way, the first Metal Gear game released in 1987, and the last game came out in 2015. 28 years of a single continuity from the 8-bit era to the PlayStation 4. I think it's time the series had one modernized, playable version of itself. I don't see Konami doing this unless Delta sells well and or is well received. Which, I mean, it's fucking Snake Eater. It's easy to love once you get into it. For a series that is as old as Metal Gear, there aren't that many games. There's only 3 more canonical games than there is in the Elder Scrolls series. You have Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, Peace Walker, and Metal Gear Solid 1 through 5. So that's 8 games, and if you just combine the original Metal Gear 1 and 2 into one release, you only have to release 7 games. Also, I don't give a shit if Revengeance is canon or not. Just modernize the Steam version if this little fantasy of mine ever gets that far. The Metal Gear series was released over the course of 28 years on different consoles and in different console generations. So if you wanted to play through with a series, you're gonna notice all the games are gonna look, feel, and play very differently. Whereas if we had modernized versions of all the games, we wouldn't have that issue. The whole series would feel a lot more unified, a lot more cohesive. And am I the only person that's tired of shitty stealth sections in non-stealth games? Think about it. How many times have you been playing a game, an action game, an RPG game, first-person shooter, a sports game, a racing game, a card-based game, a puzzle game, and there's a shitty stealth section? It sucks because the game isn't designed for stealth. So don't give us shitty stealth sections. Just give us more Metal Gear, Konami. Give the rest of the series the Delta treatment. So, here's the thing. If you're a Metal Gear fan, you probably already played Delta. And if you haven't, definitely check it out. When Snake Eater first came out, there was nothing like it. And the same is true today. Metal Gear Solid Delta, I love it, and I'm sure you'll love it too if you give it a chance. And remember, Snake, when it comes to Metal Gear, it's not over yet.